Hello and welcome back to Karma Stories. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today I have two stories for you with updates from the Best of Redditor Updates subreddit. We have one from Am I the Butthole and one from r/relationships. I don't want to push anything on you guys today, so I just hope you all have a wonderful day. Let's jump right in. This story with update comes to us from Strange Story 352. Will I be the butthole if I told my best friend's boyfriend that she cheated on him last weekend? I'm feeling a bit conflicted because my absolute best friend of 11 years made a pretty big mistake last weekend. We went out downtown for drinks and dancing because her relationship has been a bit rocky lately. They have been together for 8 years and have 2 kids together. Last weekend, she said she was going to break up with him, so she slept with a guy she met while we were at a bar. In the last week, her and her boyfriend have decided to stay together, and she told me she is taking what she did to the grave. I told her that he really deserves to know she has been cheated on before, so she knows how much it sucks. I feel like I'm in a weird position because my loyalty is to my friend, but my morals are loyal to anyone. My gut tells me to tell him, but my heart knows that it will end our friendship and potentially their relationship. I am currently planning on calling him tonight to tell him. I want to give her a heads up before I do it so she can decide if she would rather tell him herself. Will I be the butthole? Jumping down to the comments on this one, we have one from a user called Blockstack1. It says, "Do not listen to the other comments about giving her an ultimatum. This just gives her time to figure out how to gaslight her boyfriend into thinking you are making it up when you tell him. What you need to do is stay quiet and try to get a piece of evidence. Show the boyfriend the evidence so he can't doubt you and let him come to her. Obviously, your friendship needs to end here. Whether you tell him or not, you would be a bad person for continuing to be friends with and enabling the lie of a cheater." On the other side of this one, we have a comment from a user called NOS1103. It says, "Nope, you need to stay out of this." And that unfortunately means that you need to walk away from your best friend. She needs to lose something in this to feel the weight of what she has done. You can tell her that if she wants you to stick around, then you will have to tell her boyfriend the truth. Otherwise, you're done with her. Alright, let me know what you guys think on this one. Should OP tell the boyfriend and potentially break up the relationship? Should OP pose an ultimatum to her friend that her friend needs to tell her boyfriend and potentially break up the relationship? Or should OP just stay quiet and try to ignore it, if that's possible? Let me know in the comments down below before we get into the update, which we will do right now. Alright, OP's update says, here is the full update. I called her on Friday, just telling her that I wasn't comfortable carrying this secret for her. My moral compass tells me that her boyfriend deserves to know, and as 2 women, me and her, who have both been cheated on, I expect her to understand. So I told her she needed to tell him this weekend, or I would. I offered to take the kids out to ice cream and a movie so they could have the house and afternoon to themselves to talk this through. I also let her know that it would sound much better coming from her. The opportunity to work through this would probably be higher because accountability and honesty are important in relationships. She didn't respond too well to this. She told me that it was none of my business and I would just be trying to ruin her relationship. She also let me know she would never forgive me. I let her know that I wasn't seeking her forgiveness and that it was my business when she chose to cheat on her boyfriend on our girls' night and that I wouldn't be the one ruining her relationship. Her actions would be. She was very upset and rejected my offer to watch her kiddos, but said she would have the conversation after she put the kids down to bed. I followed up yesterday morning to see if she had the conversation. She left me on red at 10:53 a.m. I sent another later that evening around 5 p.m. to find I had been blocked. So I took that as my answer and FaceTimed her boyfriend. I did have an image from that night of her at the bar with the guy she cheated with. I took it as I was leaving to get in my Uber. She insisted that I leave her alone that night, even though I told her she was making a big mistake. At first, he thought I was making this up, but after he was able to ask some questions and saw the picture, he simply thanked me for letting him know. He let me know he is going to get tested because they have been intimate in the last week since she cheated. I'm unsure where the relationship stands, and I'm pretty confident I won't ever really know, as my best friend has now blocked me on everything. I expected the friendship to end, whether I told him or not, because I don't want to be surrounded by anyone who could betray someone they are supposed to love. I have started receiving a lot of scam calls for insurance quotes and a few FU texts from an unknown number. I assume these are her, which makes sense because she has done that to others in the past that she felt burned her. Again, on this one, we have people on both sides of the fence, so we're going to read a comment from either one. The first one comes to us from a user called NicePomegranate2915. It says, "You did the right thing. Your ex-friend didn't care that she did the wrong thing cheating. The only thing she cared about was her own selfishness. She cheated and then went back to her boyfriend and maybe could give him an STD. He had a right to know to protect himself and know who she really is. What he does now is his decision, but he's more informed about her character and behavior than he was before. Plus, how would you or he know that she wouldn't continue to cheat with others behind his back, just because it was one night stand this time? Cheaters cheat, or in her case, learn to cheat after being cheated on." Alright, on the other side of the fence, we have a user called Fangs McWolf, and they said, "You're the butthole. Unless you were also close friends with the boyfriend, it wasn't your place to tell him. I'm not saying that he didn't have a right to know, but by contacting him and telling him, you inserted yourself into the situation. You should have told her that you can't continue the friendship if she's not going to tell him the truth. Based on how things turned out, she obviously would have been fine with that, and the friendship would have ended. Her boyfriend would have noticed that you're no longer friends with each other, and she would have made up some story where she ended the friendship because insert lie here. Eventually, he'd have learned the truth, and she would have tried calling you up for support, and you could have shut her down, thus teaching her that she made a mistake ending the friendship. But with what happened, if they break up, she'll just deal with it and always see you as the bad guy and believe that it's your fault the relationship ended, instead of realizing that it's really her fault." Now, in the comments for this one, I also found a comment from OP that gives a little bit more of an update. It says, "One of our mutual friends called me last night after she spoke to the cheater, so I have an update. They have agreed to split. I guess this had been an issue from early in their relationship. She cheated about 1 year in, so it was the final straw for him. They will split custody, and she will be moving out in the next 2 months when her finances allow." Okay, I want to go all the way back to the beginning on this one because, OP, you say you were this girl's best friend, and you'd been this girl's best friend for 11 years. So why didn't you step in when your best friend said, "Hey, I'm gonna go with this guy, and you're not going with me"? I mean, come on. Your solution to them being in a rocky patch was to take her to a bar and then let her leave with another guy. You know what? Not even that. You took a picture of them that you could use for evidence at the time that she was leaving with that guy. Now, I don't want to downplay the fact that your best friend made an absolutely horrible mistake and that was 100% on them, but you could have stopped them. You could have even mentioned something to this other guy saying, "Oh, you guys are going home together? I hope her boyfriend doesn't mind." By not saying anything, taking that photo, and just letting them go do their thing, I kind of feel like you got the result out of this that you wanted in the first place. They're now split up, and you're no longer her friend. This one really has people sitting on the fence. I'd love to know what you think of it though. If you're on YouTube or on Spotify, drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this story. This story comes to us from 3 Years a Lie. I, 23 male, found out through a friend that my girlfriend, 21 female, of 3 years, and her current best childhood friend, 21 male, dated for 4 years in high school. I'm ready to end things, but am I overreacting? I met Nicole 3 years ago around my second year of college. I'm from out of the state. I received a full scholarship to the university that we're currently at, so I didn't have any friends at the time. She was nice and took interest in me pretty quickly, and we started dating. She's told me from the beginning that she had been best friends with this guy Adam since they were little, and they were very close, and their families were close, which I was fine with at the time. I'm not really a jealous person, and I'm pretty laid back. Adam seemed like a nice guy, and I thought, who am I to really tell her who she can and can't be friends with? Anyway, they have been close enough through their relationship. They go on trips together with their families, they study together, have a few classes together, dinner, lunch, etc., and they have even stayed the night at each other's apartments. It was weird at first, but I trusted her as well as him, and honestly, she always told me ahead of time, so I felt like it was fine, but not ideal. It never really affected our relationship. We spent time together, had a great connection, and all that good stuff. Nicole and Adam left on Sunday. They finished finals early or something like that to head down to their family's beach house like 4 hours away from campus. They did invite me, but I have some finals left, and then I have summer courses starting nearly immediately after my finals. So I declined, so that I could prep for my final 2 courses before I graduate. I met up in the library with one of her friends in my web design class to put some finishing touches on our final project. We get on the topic of relationships, and she was telling me about how when she started dating her current boyfriend, she made him cut all contact with his ex-girlfriend, even though she wanted to remain close with him. She asked me why I didn't do the same, and I was confused. I didn't understand what she meant, and then she explained and showed me proof that Nicole and Adam dated throughout high school. They also went to prom together. I was pretty lost as to what to do or how to feel. I found out yesterday, and all I could think was that Adam could potentially be screwing my girlfriend at this very moment. I trusted her, but I mean, I've never seen exes hang out and be as buddy-buddy as them without hooking up before. As dense as it sounds, I almost can't wrap my head around their level of closeness and not doing it. I talked to my older sister, and she told me I had to calm down, and that maybe there was a reason for why they never said anything. She said if I trusted Nicole before knowing, she didn't see why I would suddenly accuse her otherwise, even if her best friend is her ex. But I feel like that logic is so flawed because my entire foundation of trust for this relationship stemmed from the fact that Adam was her childhood best friend, not her ex. Honestly, if she would have told me before we started dating, I think I probably would have walked away from the relationship. She's a great and nice girl, but getting with someone who is still so heavily involved with their ex is a roller coaster I don't think I would ever willingly sign up for. Am I thinking about this the wrong way? Is it crazy that I'm already considering ending the relationship from this, whether she cheated or not? I haven't brought it up to her yet. I want to talk in person rather than on the phone. I'm going to hide the fact that I know until she comes back to campus on Friday to spend my birthday weekend with me. But I don't see any logical explanation that will keep me committed. Jumping down to the comments on this one, we have one from a user called Aferny Bourdain. It says, being friends with some dude you dated in high school is generally no biggie. Neglecting to mention that past your boyfriend of 3 years while enjoying vacations and tons of time alone together is generally a big old biggie. Another commenter down below called I Enjoy Your Downvotes said, she absolutely didn't tell you on purpose and knew what she was doing the entire time was wrong. I couldn't handle being with that person anymore if I was in your shoes, because trust would become non-existent. I'm not saying she cheated or anything like that, but if she was willing to lie this long about it and be so intimate and close to him while hiding their relationship that was longer than yours, I wouldn't be so trusting anymore either. I'd suggest calling her and breaking up with her now and then moving on. She would definitely pick him over you, but you shouldn't even give that ultimatum. Have a great birthday weekend and fun with friends. Block her on social media and her number and focus on friends, hobbies, and school. You will be out of school and in a completely different environment soon and not have to deal with this anymore or see her again. So the major issue here to me is the lying by omission, because they didn't tell OP that they were still really close with somebody they dated for 4 years. I don't know how you could really be that close to somebody when you dated them for 4 years. You can't tell me there's nothing still there, but that's just kind of the way my brain works. I'm sure there's lots of people out there who are friends with their exes and they still get along, but there's just no spark there anymore. Let me know what your relationship with your ex looks like in the comments down below on YouTube or on Spotify. And let's get into OP's update now. The update is titled, Update, I, 23 male, found out through a friend that my girlfriend, 21 female, of 3 years, and her current best childhood friend, 21 male, dated for 4 years in high school. I'm ready to end things, but am I overreacting? Nicole showed up Thursday night after my exams to early surprise me for my birthday weekend. We kinda hung out and talked, and I tried my best to just be normal with her. When I asked her about Adam, she was extremely reluctant and borderline defensive to even talk about it. You never brought it up before, why do you want to know about it now? When she realizes I'm not dropping it, she pretty much breaks down and tells me everything. Adam was the one who convinced her not to tell me about their past relationship. The last few guys she tried to talk to were scared off by her being best friends with her ex, and he didn't want me to leave in the same way. It was only supposed to be for a little while. She didn't plan on staying that close with Adam while being in a relationship. Adam's dad was in the process of getting a promotion when Nicole and I started dating, which would move him and his family to the Midwest, but the promotion fell through. She said Adam became more direct once he found out he wasn't leaving, constantly insisting that she hang out with him without me, even to the point where she would be canceling plans with me. For most people, I'm sure that would have been a red flag when your girlfriend canceled on you periodically, but I've been taking 6 to 7 course semesters for the past 2 years in attempts to graduate early and get the most out of a scholarship. If I wasn't studying or with Nicole, I always had a million other things I could be catching up on or doing. She blamed me for not setting boundaries or being more strict with her that eventually she became comfortable with her freedom with him. Adam still has really strong feelings for her though. She said she doesn't feel the same way about him. She admitted that Adam over time grew to resent me and became very jealous of our relationship and how effortlessly happy I made her feel. She tells me she never cheated on me despite Adam's advances and flirtation. At this point, she is crying and emotional and extremely desperate. She begs for forgiveness and says that she'll cut all ties from Adam and she won't ever talk to him again or hang out with him anymore. That I'm the only person she wants to spend her life with, and a bunch of other ridiculousness I could hardly even listen to. I was angry and probably didn't say it the way I should have, but I told her it was the perpetual lying and deceitfulness which had me so angry, and that was the reason I was breaking up with her. That's pretty much how it ended, with me telling her she could leave. Adam sent some hateful text to me, which I ignored. Yesterday night, I was pretty much an emotional wreck. I felt ashamed and angry at myself for even crying over something or someone so stupid. But I woke up this morning and I didn't feel nearly as bad as I thought. Spoke to my best friend about it and he really helped me put it into perspective. I'm going home tonight for my birthday weekend and then I'll just focus on finishing school and finding a job. Now, sometimes in these posts, OP will put a TLDR at the bottom, which is basically just a condensed version of the story, and sometimes there's a little bit more information in there. So in OP's TLDR, it says, "We broke up. It was Adam's idea from the start to hide it all from me. Adam still has strong feelings for her, and when alone, would flirt with her. He always secretly resented me for dating Nicole and our happiness. I don't know if she actually physically cheated on me, but the last time they did anything physical was the day before we started dating. I'm glad it's over, and even more glad I don't live in this state. Thanks for the advice." Now, down in the comments for this one, OP actually gave a whole bunch more context where they were responding to another user who made a bunch of statements and asked them a few questions. The first statement said, "It sounds like she really likes you and she wants to try and make it work." OP said, "The thing about it is that I really liked her as well. I wanted to make it work more than anything in the world, I really did. It's something that I couldn't really convey in my post, is that I always saw this girl as like my escape away from everything. I've been in study mode since I was 18, and I haven't really had much time for the simple things in life, like hanging out with a girlfriend, or going out to parties, or anything like that. I didn't want a relationship at first, because I didn't think I would have the time or be able to manage time appropriately. When I was busy, I always encouraged her to have fun with her other friends. There was a mutual trust there, especially with Adam. It was rough at first, but eventually she convinced me nothing would happen between them, and that he was just a childhood friend. But I made it explicitly clear way back when we started dating, she had concerns about her freedom and being able to do as she wanted, and she wanted to know why I trusted her so much, since her other boyfriends didn't, and gave her so much space, and I told her that I had no reason not to trust her. She's my girlfriend after all. All I ask is that you tell me the truth, even if it'll hurt my feelings or get me upset. I realize my school schedule isn't ideal, but I think we could work through just about anything. The next comment said, but I don't think people owe their SO their entire dating history, including people you know in common. OP responded and said, I strongly disagree with this statement. If you guys have mutual friends, that's when disclosing past are the most important. Especially when you don't disclose your past with someone because you know it'll alter decisions and other aspects of your relationship. That's not cool on a bunch of levels. Omitted to tell someone about a neighbor who you slept with 3 years ago isn't the same as keeping an ex under your SO's nose. Maybe if her and Adam saw each other occasionally or weekly or monthly, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But when you hang out with someone pretty much 4 to 5 times a week, it becomes a problem. You owe it to your SO to tell them about people you interact with often. Maybe you're different than me and have yourself and your relationship with your SO all figured out, but that's a really big deal in my book. The next statement said, she's being honest about everything that's happened during your relationship. OP said, I could no longer trust what happened during our relationship. I didn't know what was truth and what was a lie. However, I spoke with her today. Actually, she came to visit me at my apartment unannounced, and though we are broken up, she felt the need to tell me more about it. She apologized how she acted, letting her disappointment, shamefulness, and guilt get the better of her. She apologized for Adam's text messages and some other things she did. But she did, in fact, cheat on me. It happened 2 different occasions throughout different parts of our relationship. Every occasion mixed with alcohol and them being alone for the night. All initiated by Adam. They also have kissed, or as she told me, Adam would kiss her frequently on the lips, taking advantage of her. So based off that alone, I'm 2000% done. I had my doubts, maybe she really did just lie about them being exes, but when she confirmed that she cheated, that's when I knew I made the right decision to move on. The next comment said, has it been a roller coaster? Did it affect your relationship in any way before you found out? OP said, as for this, all I can say is that ignorance is bliss. Looking back on it now, I can vividly see periods that would have made me question everything. Freedoms and things that I was okay with. I would have freaked over. Letting her sleep at his house was a big deal. Having to split my limited free time up with him was a huge issue for me. Despite the cheating and lying, I do care for her, but I can never be with her again. She either has to date Adam or get the F away from him, but that's not something I can be a part of right now. Like I told someone else, before I leave back to my hometown for good, maybe I'll sit down with her and give her a new perspective on things, but right now, she can learn on her own. Does anybody else here feel like the girlfriend is avoiding taking responsibility, kind of like it's a competitive sport? She's literally put the blame for this whole situation onto Adam and not on herself. Oy. I hope her and Adam have a wonderful relationship together, but it sounds to me like that's probably not going to happen, and she's going to get together with somebody else, and her and Adam are going to ruin that one, and the whole thing's just going to start over again. OP, I know you were with this girl for 3 years, but it's only when you were in college, and once you leave college and go back to your home state, everything changes again, so this is kind of doing you the favor of cutting off that relationship now anyway, although it's not really going to help you with trusting anybody else in the future. Maybe time to talk to a therapist, work this through, and that might help you with dating in the future. Alright, well I think we'll end this one here. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow us on your preferred podcasting platform. Remember, if you're watching on Spotify, you can now rotate your phone and get the video there as well. I thank you all for watching and listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.